Hello everyone. Welcome back to another English learning video. This one is specifically designed to help you improve your speaking skills and pronunciation. Today, I have a fantastic news story. I ate a wrong cake. It's a short, funny, and relatable tale of a birthday party and a rather unfortunate dessert choice. This story is perfect for practicing our technique, shadowing. I'll read the story to you sentence by sentence. After I say each sentence, I want you to pause the video and repeat it immediately after me. This powerful method, called shadowing, will train your mouth muscles and your brain to speak English more naturally and confidently, ready to dive into the world of delicious mistakes. Let's begin the story. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. The office break room was usually the most boring place on the planet. Today, however, it felt like a mysterious wonderland. It was Friday afternoon, and a cake sat gleaming on the counter. The cake was a work of art, covered in bright purple and gold icing. It was clearly meant for a big celebration. I hadn't seen a note or any decoration explaining the cake, but it looked delicious, and I was incredibly hungry. Missed lunch because I had a busy meeting in the morning. My stomach was rumbling loudly enough to echo. In the quiet room, I looked around cautiously. The break room was completely empty. This was a rare opportunity, and I decided to take it. Just one small slice. I reasoned with myself. No one will ever notice a small piece missing from the back. I grabbed a plastic knife and carefully sliced into the purple exterior. The cake inside was a dark red velvet. Smelling intensely of cocoa, I placed the slice on a napkin and walked back to my desk. I took a large, satisfying bite. The cake was rich, sweet, and flawless. But as I finished the first bite, I felt a slight tingle. It wasn't a sugar rush. It was a strange, prickly sensation across my entire body. I shrugged it off as guilt, after all. I had just stolen the first slice of a significant cake. I took another bite, and the feeling got stronger. Suddenly, I started seeing the world in a sharper, more focused way. I knew what to do with the papers. I noticed a tiny typo in an old document I had reviewed weeks ago. It was an error no one else had ever spotted. I stood up. Feeling strong, I walked over to the whiteboard, where we had planned our recent project. The plan was confusing and full of messy arrows. In 1 second, I saw the perfect, logical solution. I grabbed a marker and rewrote the entire project flow in neat, flawless steps. My coworker, Sarah, walked in just as I finished. She stared at the board in shock. "Wait, what happened here?" she asked, confused. "The solution was obvious," I replied calmly. "You just need to move step 4 before step 2. Sarah's jaw dropped open. "But we spent 3 hours yesterday arguing about this. How did you see that so fast?" I simply smiled. Feeling incredibly sharp, I suddenly realized what had happened. It wasn't just a normal cake. I had eaten the wrong cake. I rushed back to the break room to investigate the remaining cake just as I arrived. Our senior chemist, Mr. Harrison, walked in. He was looking very nervous and excited. He saw the cake, and then he saw the missing slice. His face went from excited to horrified in a second. "Who cut the cake?" he demanded, his voice trembling. I swallowed hard. I did. I apologize. It looked too good." Mr. Harrison placed his hands on his head. "This wasn't supposed to be eaten yet. he whispered dramatically. This was the brain-boosting prototype. My eyes went wide. The what? It's a cake, a costly one, infused with an experimental neural catalyst, he explained quickly. It temporarily increases your processing power by 500%. So, I'm smart, I asked, feeling slightly dizzy from the realization you are a temporary genius, he confirmed grimly. But the effects are unpredictable. Unpredictable, how? It lasts exactly 3 hours, Mr. Harrison explained. And then your mind returns to normal. He paused, looking desperate. The issue is that I haven't tracked the long-term side effects. I looked at the clock. I had already wasted 30 minutes of genius. Time I now had 2.5 hours to use my temporary, incredible brain. I need to work, I announced, running back to my desk. I need to solve everything. For the next 2 hours, I was a force of nature. I drafted a flawless, complex business proposal in 20 minutes. I learned 3 new coding languages by just skimming the manuals. I even fixed the complicated printer that had been broken for 6 months. The whole office watched me in stunned silence. They called me the Friday Miracle. I felt powerful, invincible, and strangely focused. But slowly, the sharpness began to fade. The intense focus started to blur around the edges. I could feel the 500% returning to a normal 0. I was sitting at my desk, finishing a brilliant calculation. The final 2 hours were almost up. I tried to solve one last, important problem, the main office access code. No one knew the full sequence. I looked at the keypad. I felt the solution burning in my mind. I typed in the incredibly complicated 10-digit code. Success. The lock gave a satisfying green flash. Then, just as the genius left me, a final strange thought popped into my head. Felt an overwhelming need for something sweet again. The timer was up. My brain was officially back to normal. I was just my regular, hungry self again. I looked at the lock code I had just entered. I immediately forgot it. Mr. Harrison rushed over. To my day, it's over, he said, holding up a small timer. How do you feel? I felt exhausted, but strangely happy. I feel like I need another slice of that cake, I admitted honestly. Mr. Harrison smiled, shaking his head. The cake is now safely locked away, he promised. The good news is, you solved 10 years of company problems in 2 hours. And the bad news? I asked nervously. The bad news, he said, holding up the empty breakroom knife, is that was the only slice with the catalyst. The rest of the cake is just normal. Very sweet cake. But now, he continued, leaning in close, we have a new problem. You are the only person who knows the master access code for the entire building. I looked at him blankly. What code? I asked. I don't remember any code. Mr. Harrison's jaw dropped open again. The entire office waited, silent and attentive. I had eaten the wrong cake. It had made me a temporary genius. And now, only my normal, less than genius self was left. The fate of the entire company, and all their secrets, depended on my next normal-brained move. I decided to ask the obvious question. Is there any way I can have just a small bite of the regular, delicious purple cake? The mystery was over, but the new long-term security problem had just begun. The story of the wrong cake was far from finished. Great job shadowing. I ate a wrong cake. Repeat this video to boost your fluency. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun listens.